Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video Dvar Torah. I say welcome back even though it's only been a few days since many of you last saw me in our High Holidays live stream, but it's been a long time since I've had a chance to just sit down and talk to you all and offer some thoughts and words of Torah. And by the way, about the High Holidays, it was so meaningful to receive all of the wonderful feedback, the compliments, and the thank yous from so many of you about the services. I can share with you that at the shul, we were all very happy about how it all came together in the end. And on behalf of Rabbi Haber, Gabbai Mark, Principal Cindy, Miriam in the office, the choir, the shul board, and myself, thank you all for tuning in, being with us, believing in us to pull off this incredible feat, and supporting the community. But if you will indulge me briefly, I would also like to add a few personal remarks, reflecting on these past few weeks and months as we prepared to do this monumental thing that had never been done before. It was early May, and we were somewhere in our 8th or 9th week of lockdown, and all of us at the shul were beginning to realize that our summer plans were likely going to have to be canceled. And the reality that we could be doing this for a long time was beginning to sink in. The question of what would become of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur was almost too bizarre to take seriously, but we began to ask the question anyway. In the weeks that followed, it was clear that most conservative and reform synagogues would live stream their services. In fact, a fair number of them had already begun live streaming all of their services some years ago in order to bring religious services to those members of their communities who were hospitalized or housebound. And the model for these live stream services was simple: to offer a digital window, if you will, into what was happening at shul for those who couldn't be there in person. None of us at Beth Radham had ever had any experience with live streaming before. But while this meant that we had a very steep learning curve to navigate, it also enabled us to dream up a very different kind of a vision for our services. Instead of offering a digital window into a service where we pretend that everything is otherwise normal, we dreamed of a completely redesigned High Holidays that didn't so much live at the shul, but rather operated more like a television news program with anchors at the shul and correspondents on location in our homes. Our hope was that in this way, we would all feel that our homes were being drawn together in a unified sacred space. Instead of having a window into your shul, your home would become a part of your shul. That's why our services were filled with messages from community members, bringing you greetings from their homes to yours. And that's why when we beat our chests for a shamnu, you could see your fellow congregants rise together and beat their chests together with you. And that's why we chose the slogan, "Shul is coming home," to represent the vision for our holiday season. All this is to say that I wanted to take this moment to go on record and congratulate us all for participating. By doing so, we refuse to accept the mentality of let's just do the best we can with a bad situation. We instead embraced the strangeness of the times we're living in, and because of it, I think we discovered a new way to connect spiritually. And for all of their out-of-the-box thinking, their dedication, and hours and hours and hours of hard work on this colossal undertaking, I want to offer my own personal gratitude to Rabbi Haber, to our shul president Mark Vernon, who managed the project, to Principal Cindy, who led the family services, Miriam Sharp in the office, who had to quickly become an expert in answering your technical questions, Linda Sachs, who oversaw the Isker book, Ryan and David at Bounce Entertainment, who operated our live stream cameras, our videographer, Nadav Rosenberg from Click Creative, who donated his time to film the choir at Shul. Alyssa Malko, who created the opening sequences and title screens for each of the services. Our choir director and arranger, my brother, Robbie Burko. The members of the choir, Rachel Malik, Terry Schonberger, Stacy Silver, and Shayna Lavi, who largely had to record themselves at home using nothing but their own smartphones. The Shul's board of directors, who put their faith in me when I proposed this insane plan. Robin Temeshtit, who put together your holiday boxes. Everyone who showed up on the Zoom chat to create the Ashamnu video. All of those who submitted video greetings, recorded themselves reading prayers and giving speeches. And so many more volunteers who worked the phones, stuffed envelopes, filled holiday gift boxes, and more. And of course, the biggest thanks goes to all of our members and those who purchased tickets for the services and gave donations. We know that these times are fraught with financial uncertainty, and we thank you for investing in your shul community and trusting your synagogue's professional team to deliver something extra special, a great high holiday experience that is a reflection, I think, of the great community that we are. Without your support, none of this could have possibly ever happened. So, we made it through. What's next? I have to admit that after working some of the longest hours of my life for the past few weeks, I half expected to emerge after Yom Kippur to find that COVID was over, but it's not. In fact, it seems we are heading into the dreaded second wave that we've all been assuming would be coming. One of the not-so-small graces that we were able to enjoy during this strange COVID summer was that we could at least spend time with our families and maybe a few friends and neighbors so long as we stayed outside in our backyards, kept our distance, and wore our masks. This will become a lot more difficult to do, if not impossible, as the Canadian winter sets in. If you're a follower of American news like me, then we are all gluttons for even more punishment, with the death of the great Chief Justice and proud member of the tribe, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the notorious RBG, the rioting over racial injustice in many American cities is again refueled over the news that no officers would be charged in connection with the death of Breonna Taylor. And then, of course, there is the absolute travesty that was the American presidential debate. Looking around us, how can we blame anyone these days for feeling less than hopeful about the future of the human race? And perhaps you also feel, as I do, a little extra disappointed that this is where we are so quickly after Yom Kippur. But I think there's also a silver lining. Thank God, the holidays are not quite done with us. At least not yet. And the timing, I think, couldn't be better. Because I think we all could really use a little more community time. Time spent just like what we've been doing. Celebrating our shared Jewish heritage, connecting with one another, filling our homes with music, spirit, and funky a cappella Don Olam videos. In our liturgy, each of the 3 pilgrimage festivals is announced together with a different qualifier. For Pesach, Chag HaPesach Hazeh, Chag HaMatzot Hazeh, we say it's Zman Cherutenu, the time of our freedom. For Shavuot, Chag HaShavuot Hazeh, we say it's Zman Matan Toratenu, the time of the giving of our Torah. The meaning of these qualifiers are pretty obvious. Passover is the celebration of our freedom from slavery, and Shavuot is the celebration of the giving of the Torah. But what about Sukkot? Chag HaSukkot Hazeh. The liturgy says that the qualifier for Sukkot is Zman Simchatenu, the time of our happiness. But why happiness? Is Sukkot necessarily happier than Passover or Shavuot? Wouldn't it make more sense if we said that it was the time of the shaking of the lulav and etrog, or the time of eating outside in the sukkah? What is so happy about Sukkot that makes the theme of happiness the primary theme of the holiday? After the intensity of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we are commanded to rejoice. The sukkah in our backyard represents a break from the routine, the setting aside of challenges and debate, and a return to nature and the basics of life. It's a chance and a reminder to appreciate all of the good things that we have right in front of us. During these strange times, I can't think of a more welcome idea than a commandment to be happy. Of course, it appears that we will be wrestling with a lot of big world problems for a while longer. But while we do, I think we also have to make an effort to focus inward towards ourselves and our community, to continue to find the relief, the joy, and the hope that we need. How fortunate that we seem to be set up for it. If you liked what you experienced over the holidays, then stick with us. Come visit our virtual social hall, be part of the book club, stream our Sukkot services, and check out our weekly Sunday variety shows when they return on October 17th. Together, we'll hold on to the happiness just as God holds on to us through this holiday season, just a little while longer. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.